Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. All praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, by Hashem Rekakadash. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shah being the name of His only begotten Son, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Now, when you look at the word red, it has a very subtle delusion or illusion, because it's, when you look in it's Hebrew scriptures we dealing with. When you're dealing with the Bible, you're dealing with the Hebrew scriptures. And so in Hebrew it says red is Edom. And so red is the description of Esau. It's like when the Israelites in Acts chapter 13 was called black. It's a description for the Edomites. And so if they call the Israelites, the prophets and teachers, black, then they call the Edomites red, the descendants of Esau. So it's just like saying red people. And when you look at this situation, it's a couple scriptures that come to mind that those scriptures can go directly to the nation of Edom, to be specific. But when you look at the scripture is going to say red. It's not going to say Edom. But the scripture was written in Hebrew. So why don't the scripture say Edom? That's the question. Why don't the scriptures say Edom? Now, when you get into the Greek, there's no such thing as Greek. Greek don't exist. Greek is a landmass. It comes from the landmass of Greece. And the language of that landmass, they assume and they put Greek on it to pretty much say this is the Greek language and the Greek culture. But those people wasn't the original Greeks. They wasn't the original inhabitants of that land. So who came and took that land over? Who invaded that land and took it over? Let's see. Let's go into the scriptures, because this is very significant. We're gonna go to Psalms 49 and 11 first, because it's a very significant topic. It says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own name. Now, who is these people? Because when you look at Psalms, and mainly King David, you get a understanding, if you research the scriptures, that King David was dealing with the Edomites. Now, just go over two verses. The first verse, it say Edomite, Dogig, or whatever his name. He was talking to Saul, and King David had something to say about his behind and his peoples. That these peoples love to lie. Okay, let's go back to 49 and verse 11. It says they call their lands after their own name. Okay, and so these individuals was known, the Edomites was known to go into other people's land and conquer it. Let's get that in Obadiah. Concerning Edom, it say, if thieves came to you, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? See, when they come to your land, they not leaving nothing, and they not even leaving. They taking over. And this is concerning Edom. Looking at verse 1, Obadiah. Okay, now, when you're talking about lands, and you're talking about the names, we just gonna establish that these Edomites is the ones that's naming themselves after other people's land. The Greeks, they named everybody Greeks. Whoever was in their land and the lands that they was over, everybody had to go by the name Greek. So that's a whole nother subject. Then you got Romans in Rome. These people was the same peoples, Edomites, taking over. Now, let's go to Revelation, because we want to stick with this word red. Just want to bring that little bit out. Revelation 6, starting at verse 4. It says, and there went out another horse that was red, or that was Edom. It went another power, because horse just stands for power. There went out another power that was Edom. And power, see, was given to him. See, this is a him. This horse stands for a nation, because this is talking about him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. And it's not just one person. Look what he say. And that they, see, this is a nation, that they shall kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. Who was given a great sword? Let's go to the blessing of Esau. 27 and 40. He said, and, let's get the context. 38 say, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. So Isaac, his father, started to bless him. Now we're going to get straight to the point. He say, and hit by thy sword, by your sword shall you live. Esau, you going to live by your sword. You still going to have to serve your brother at the end of the day, but it's going to come to come to pass at a certain period of time when you going to have the rulership. Now, when you get the rulership, you going to break his yoke off of your neck. You going to have the rulership. He not going to be ruling over you. You going to have the rulership. See? And it say he going to have the dwelling. It say in verse 39, it say, behold, thy dwelling shall be the richness or the fatness of the earth and the dew of the heaven. What does that mean? You go to Jacob's blessing and you see what that blessing mean, what that rulership mean. What did he tell Jacob? He told Jacob the same thing in verse 28. He said, therefore God shall give you the dew of the heaven. What that mean? That mean rulership. And fatness of the earth, that mean richness. Plenty of corn and wine. See? And 29 let you know what that mean. It means let people serve you. See, people gonna serve Esau. And nations gonna bow down to Esau. And Esau gonna be Lord over his brethren, over his mother's son. They gonna have to bow down to him. Yes, sir, master. Yes, sir, whatever you say, master. We'll do that, master. Oh, yeah, master. Cursed be everyone that cursed thee. See, you curse these Edomites, they coming after you. You gonna be ridiculed. You gonna be towed down in Esau's kingdom. Blessed be he that bless you. See, you, anybody talk good about the so-called white man, he gonna be praised. He gonna be held up. That's how the rulership works. That's how the blessing works of Esau. So that Revelation 6 is talking about the red peoples and the red nation of Edom. They shall kill one another. World War I, World War II. What is the great sword? The gun, the major weapons that they can create. Bombs, guns, chemical warfare, all kind of trickery. Now, let's take it to Revelation chapter 12. Starting at verse 3. He said, and there was another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red or Edomite dragon. You see? Having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. See, if you don't understand the Hebrew, this Bible, you will be lost. Because Edom means red. Edom and red is the same thing. And it represents the Edomites. And you talking about 2 things that he's seeing here. Now, in the belly, he saw twins in that womb. Let's go back to Genesis 25 real quick. We got to establish this Edomite situation before we get that chapter 12. Look at this. Now, Isaac and Rebekah. It says, and the Lord said unto her, Rebekah, 2 nations are in thy womb, 2 manners of people shall be separated from thy bowels. 1 people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. These 2 children and 2 nations are stuck with prophecy. When it comes to prophecy, the nation of Israel and the nation of Edom will be together all the way. So when you get to 25, it say the first came out red and they called him Esau. See, Esau represented red, and Esau was a cunning hunter. See, he know how to lie and kill. That was his 2 attributes. Now let's go back to Revelation chapter 12. What was John looking at? John said, I saw a great wonder in heaven, a woman. So he saw 1 nation. What did this 1 nation have? A crown with 12 stars. There was kings, and it was 12 major kings or kingdoms. 12 nations in this 1 nation. 12 tribes in this 1 nation. Judah on down to Issachar, Naphtali, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. Then he say, a child came out of this. We know a child only came out of the nation of Israel, who was the Yahushua, who they only called Jesus Christ. We know that. So when you get to verse 3, who was in prophecy right next to the nation of Israel? The Edomites, which they would never tell you. They act like Esau died in the womb. They act like Esau never came out of the womb and became a great nation. That's how these people act like. But Edomites became a great nation. They had dukes and all kind of things. And so when you talking about this great red dragon, this great Edomite dragon, see, that's what it's all about. The great Edomite dragon. Now let's go see. This great Edomite dragon he didn't die in the womb. He didn't die during the Roman times when there wasn't even no war going on. They just ran the Israelites out of their homeland. That's all they did. But let's go to Genesis 36 and see how massive this nation was. Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. See, who is red. His peoples is red. Verse 8. Mount Seir is also a part of the Edomites. Okay. Look at verse 11. Teman, Habakkuk is written all about the Edomites. Okay. Let's see here. Now, when you get to 19, it says, well, not 19. When you get to 15, it says, these were dukes of the sons of Esau. So Teman was a major duke at the beginning. 16, it says Duke Amalek. Amalek was a major duke, major son. So the major kingdom. Now look at what verse 31 say. And these are the kings that reign in the land of Edom before there reigned any king over the children of Israel. So you mean to tell me these dragons acting like they died in the womb when they present the Bible, when they present the history between their peoples and our peoples, they act like they died in the womb when they had major kings ruling over their peoples before the Israelites even had a king. We had to go in the freaking bondage under the Egyptians, while the Edomites got kings and stuff, got lands and kings ruling. Okay, so these people is not understanding the Bible, and they not teaching the Bible. They love to lie. According to Psalms 52, they love to lie, so they're not gonna come out with the truth. Then let's get Jeremiah, because Jeremiah talked about these Edomites. Jeremiah 49 and 7. It say, this is concerning Edom. Let's jump down to verse 10. He say, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places. See, he keeping a lot of secrets. He say, and he shall not be able to hide himself. He not gonna hide. His seed is spoiled. That means his descendants, his brethren, his neighbors. And he is not going to be able to hide himself, man. And that was his whole mission. That's why he named the names. He named, the land masses that he had after his name, after some of the people. He didn't name it after his bloodline. He named it after the name of certain little people. He had a Roman general. He named Africanus after that. Africa was named after Africanus. And another Edomite made a poem called Africa and made the Roman general famous and himself famous by writing this poem called Africa, talking about the dark nations, and dedicated that landmass of Ham to the so-called dark nations, because he came up with this in the dark ages. Francisco something. And so these dragons like to hide themselves. Then the navigator, Americo Vespucci, who was the founder of Brazil, or what's that what's the name of that place in Brazil, the capital city of Brazil, Rio de Janeiro or something like that. Americo Vespucci founded that place, and then they dedicated all the land masses over here, North America, South America, in his name. See, this is what the Edomites was going to do. And so that's how they hide themselves. And then they call themselves after their name. After they done named the landmass, they call themselves after the landmass. So it's all going back to their peoples, but it's always hiding their true identity, the Edomites. See, and we can clearly see who they is because they red. That's why the Most High named them red. They the only nation that's red. Now look at let's see, verse 15. It says, "For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men." The Edomites was going to be a small nation among all the other nations. When you look at the so-called red nation, they are 10% of the population. Only 10% of the population is Edomites or red, having albinism, meaning you can see their red blood through their skin. Only 10% is 90% of the people in the world that got a tan, or they skin can get darker naturally with the sun beaming on them. But these dragons that go to Jerusalem, they get skin cancer, and they can't get a tan naturally without getting some kind of disease or sickness. And then they've been rape, rob, killing, and stealing so much. Everybody despises these people. All the nations know that the so-called white man is a killer and a murderer and a liar. They all know this. This ain't a secret. They all got all kind of phrases and stuff going against these dragons, these red dragons, because they are the red Edomite dragon. See, that's what Revelation 12 is talking about. And see, this is where we at the end of this world, because guess what? 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. It say, "For Esau is the end of the world." We know that these so-called white peoples is ruling the world. That's what they call themselves white, because they knew that red was going to identify that. If they would have went with the color red, it would have been over for them. They would have connected to their nationality, which is Edom. But they went with the color white. See, they didn't go with that color red, because they already knew. In 1681, they say, let's go with the color white, which means purity. Because if we go with that color red, rednecks, we turn red when we get all hot and heated, they gonna know that we go back to the Edomites, and God don't like us. And let's get that. Let's get that since we talking about Edom. Romans 9 and 13. It's in Malachi too, but let's get it in Romans to let you know this in the New Testament. Ain't nothing changed. He didn't change. Malachi 3 and 6, God do not change. It say, "As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated." See? Verse 11. He say, "For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of God according to election might stand." God had purpose for these people, not of works, but of him that called. So God wasn't worried about no works. He had a game plan for these people. He had a purpose for Esau in his story, in his theater. That's what God goes back to. Theo, God. In his theater, in his movie, in his script, he had a purpose, a role for the nation of Edom. And then he had a role for the nation of Jacob, Israel. They was going to be stronger. Say one nation would be stronger than the other. They was going to be stronger. They was going to live, or their kingdom was going to be longer. It wasn't going to be like the Edomites. The Edomites was going to be weaker. They was going to have a short rulership. See, this is the story of Edom. This is the theme of the Bible, the main ideal of the Bible. And for the critics that's going to say, he didn't bless Esau. Yes, he did. Now, that shows you that the Edomites done tried to hide stuff. Because why would you change that Esau had a blessing? Why would you try to hide that Esau had a blessing when it was point blank too obvious that he had a blessing. Hebrews chapter 11 verse 20. It says, by faith Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come. Both of them was blessed. So why would you hide that he had a blessing and he had a rulership that God blessed him with? That lets you know that you dealing with the devil, the deceiver. See, that great red dragon was talking about the nation of Edom. This great red dragon was not talking about no angels. It says his angels. See, his messengers. The angels go back to messengers. It don't always got to be some spirit that God created in the third dimension. It could be it could be a spirit, a messenger that's human, a human messenger. But when you use the word angels, a simple-minded person will automatically think he talking about something up in the sky. Something up in the third dimension with God. Now, then when you say heaven, heaven meant sky. It didn't mean you got to be up there with God. See, the Edomites created that. If you go look up heaven, it's going to say the Edomites with their Christianity created the thought that heaven means up there with God. It was always that heaven meant sky or above. See, that's what the heaven meant. So when it said that they fell from heaven, they fell from the sky. The Edomite messengers was going to fall from the sky. They wasn't going to be battling with the angelic, the real army of Yahushua, who they end up call Jesus Christ, because people didn't know too that they was gonna have airplanes flying. They didn't start flying planes until the early 1800s, the early 1900s. That's when they started flying planes. So they didn't understand that they gonna be able to go in the sky. They didn't understand that they're gonna be able to go into outer space. They're gonna have space stations. See, they didn't understand all this. So they looking at talking about angels falling from the sky. They thinking they talking about real angels. No, they talking about spaceships. They talking about airplanes fighting anything going to that sky. These dragons got a radar on it, and they looking for them, and they ready to kill them. They ready to shoot missiles and all kind of stuff at them. And that's what's gonna happen at the end of the world. Do you think these dragons gonna really say, okay, here goes some stuff flying around, and we just gonna let it fly around, and we ain't gonna do nothing? No, they gonna send their airplanes instantly, just like on Independence Day, just like on all the movies that they make. And that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be in the sky where these people attack the angelic being, because look at what Yahushua, who they end up call Jesus Christ, said is gonna happen at the end. See, at the end of the Gentiles, the Edomites, and the other nations, at the end of their time, and their time is up, it says, verse 25, and there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and in the earth, and upon the earth, distress upon nations. They're going to be stressed out, man. What is this sign up here in the sky? With perplexity in the sea and the waves roaring. They're going to be roaring in the uproar. It's all kind of signs in the sky. They got all kind of movies that's talking about UFOs. And it's increasing as the time get closer. If you look at the UFO little chart, they tell you that the sightings of the UFOs is increasing. So 26 is when they seeing this stuff increasing, it say men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things that's coming upon the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken. See, the powers of their kingdom is shaken. They rich men is trying to hide. Why is they rich men trying to hide? Let's get that. I think the same chapter is talking about these red dragons. Chapter 6, same chapter, when they talk about the nation of Edom. They gonna kill one another. But it's gonna come a time when they start to see something is going on. And their hearts is gonna fail them out of fear. And this is what's gonna happen. And this is what's happening today. And the kings of the earth and the great men, the rich men, the Edomites who rule in their rulership, the chief captains, their mighty men, every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens, in the rocks, in the mountains. And they said unto the mountains and rocks, fall on us, hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? See, they already know something is going down. And look at who is these mighty men? Let's get that in Jeremiah. Who is these mighty men? See, Jeremiah specifically let you know who is the mighty men. Joel did too when he talked about World War III in the climax of the situation. But who heart's gonna fail them out of fear? It's gonna be the Edomite. Look at that. 22, behold, he shall come up and fly as an eagle and spread his wings over Basra. That's America, the capital city of the Edomites. And at that day shall the heart of the mighty men of Edom be as the heart of a woman in her pain. What did Luke just say? What did Yahushua just say in Luke? He said, men's heart failing them for fear and for looking after those things that's coming upon the earth. And then they shall see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. This is what's going on. The men's hearts is failing them for fear. Let's go back to Revelation, because Revelation said the mighty men. Let's get that. Who was the mighty men? See, who was the mighty men that was just stated in verse 4? Then in verse 15, the kings of the earth, the Edomites in rulership, their hearts gonna fail them out of fear. The rich men, the chief captain, and the mighty men of Edom is gonna hide themselves in the rock. Now let's get that, because I got that. Let's get it, because I got it. Them mighty men, the rich men, they got bunkers, a whole field full of bunkers. All the rich men hiding themselves in the rocks, in the dens. See, that's a den, just another word for these darn bunkers that they got. Because they know that these UFOs are signs to let you know that these are the angels. There's no such thing as a demon. No. The Lord sent his angels to do all his work, all his business. It's only messengers from God. If it's a bad message, people want to call it a demon. Then our people, the Israelites, did want to call it them demon or devil or whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, it's an angel spirit that God created. It's a messenger that God created to let you to send a message. And the UFOs are not no freaking aliens or no reptile species that left or was created. No, they are the messengers of God, letting this kingdom know, giving this kingdom of Edom a sign to let them know their kingdom is over with. And he is coming to establish his kingdom, like Daniel 2:44. And so this is the situation when it comes to the Edomites, man. They are the adversary of God, the adversary of his peoples. And they ruling over the kings of the earth. That red dragon. Let me finish with that red dragon and get some more meat on that red dragon. Look at what this red dragon really is. See, the red dragon it's going right along with Babylon the Great, Basra, America. Let's get where we at? Okay, 12. Let's get 17. Now 17 is talking about a beast. Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots. Okay. And it's talking about a woman. It's a woman. It's named as a woman. With a red scarlet. They use the word scarlet here. But it goes back to red. It's the Edomites, man. That scarlet is synonymous with red. See, it was a woman that was red, and what this woman did. Verse 18, it saying, the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. So this woman, this nation of Edom, capital city, where they got all their power consolidated, these Edomites, it reigns over the kings of the earth. See, that's why when you look at verse, let's see here, it breaks it down in verse, where is it? Verse 12. Now it say the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings. See, these are kings, Edomite kings, on that red Edomite dragon, which have received no kingdom as yet, but received power as kings 1 hour with the beast. It just letting you know that this Edomite great Edomite dragon, this great Edomite dragon is 10 kings of the Edomites. And they have a woman that's red also, and she is reigning over the rest of them. And look at verse 16. It say, and the 10 kings, which is the 10 horns, that thou sawest upon the beast, this one Edomite kingdom is going to be sitting on the rest of the kings. He say, these shall hate the whore. See, the 10 kings gonna start, the 10 other Edomites gonna start hating that top Edomite king, capital city Basra. It say, and she shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. The Lord gonna make the 10 Edomite kingdoms destroy Babylon the Great, the woman, the great city America. And that's going to be the downfall and the grand finale of the nation of Edom. Because them 10 kings, once they destroy America, Babylon, the whore, Yahushua coming. Because look at the verse 14. It say, these 10 kings, after they destroy America, they going to try to make war with the Lamb. See? And when they make war with the Lamb, it's game over. Because you already know, the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is the Lord of lords and Kings of kings. You is not going to defeat Yahushua or Mashiach, the Lord of lords and King of kings. It's not going to happen. That's why 19 reiterated it once again. It says, and I saw the beast, the kings of the earth, and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat upon the horse and against his army. That's what the whole situation is about. And these dragons know it. They know it. And so that's why they got bunkers right now, spending billions of dollars, their last dime, to get these bunkers, because they're gonna try to survive and hide from the wrath of Yahushua. Let's end it on that thought. See, it say, for the great day of his wrath is come, who shall be able to stand? We need to hide ourselves because our nation is being exposed and we finna go into slavery, into captivity. Let's get that. Some of them gonna be destroyed, but the 10 kings, that's gonna be the ones doing the destroying of the one major king that's reigning over the rest of them. They going into captivity. 10, it say, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. This is the faith of the saints. This is what the Israelites put their faith in, that these peoples are going into captivity and the Lord is going to destroy them and set up his Israelites and give us our blessing. See, because our blessing was an everlasting kingdom, an everlasting rulership. It say, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. See, that's how it's going down when you're talking about the nation of Israel. They was given the everlasting blessing. It was not given to these red dragons. They only got a miniature blessing. See, Genesis 27:29. Let people serve you, Jacob. Who is he talking to? Who is he talking to? It said, and Jacob went near unto Isaac his father. Okay. Then his father finally got around to saying it. Let people serve you, Jacob, and nations bow down to you, Jacob. See? And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob. See, that's what it was about. He got the everlasting rulership, and Esau got this little short period of time, like Revelation 20 say. But I'm going to end it there. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Double honors to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, descendants of slaves, scattered around the globe. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.